Hi, Walt. Hi, Tim. So I'm Kami. I write for the mamadiaries.com. So nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet
Nice
you
to
too.
meet you. This is fun.
So I'd love to know what was the inspiration behind the story of Trolls Band Together?
It goes way back. I think the origin of the story. At Trolls One, we started talking. Our producer Gina Shea, who's a big, she's the keeper of all the trolls through all the movies. We've worked with her through all of them. She at that point in Trolls One, we said someday we'd like to do a branch origin story and
Mhm.
about his family and how he came to be who he was. That's such a big part of who we are is a lot of our past. So back then, we didn't know exactly what the story was, but we knew that was the root of it.
Yeah, and then I think another piece sort of came together while we were all at COVID at home. You know, you're kind of spending a lot of time with family members or with whoever you're sort of your what's the word, quarantining with
Quarantining.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I think because of that, it just made sense to tell a story about family dynamics and the sort of the ups and downs of all of that. Working through difficult times and how your sort of your the way you see yourself within a family can change, even though the rest of the family might not see that necessarily. It sort of all just sort of bubbled up,
Yeah.
partially because of that the way we were spending our time.
And then the boy band kind of 90s music angle came soon thereafter once we started going, okay, he has brothers, they were in this band together. Well, of course, it's a 90s style boy band because we love that, such a part of our language anyway with Justin. And then it just kind of built on itself from there. Yeah.
Yeah. I love how like the build up for Reunited in Sync was huge.
Yeah.
Like the marketing team, they did phenomenal with that. That was crazy. People were talking about that for they're still talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh. Um, So, Trolls is primarily aimed towards kids, but as a parent, I enjoy the franchise. I find myself cracking up at the jokes. How do you go about, just kind of creating the balance between keeping things like kid friendly, but at the same time appealing for all audiences?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's super important to us. We always call it like movies for everyone or movies for humans. This idea of, I mean, I have a million kids at home too, so I know what it's like to watch films and want to have a shared experience you can have with the kids. And a lot of the times we are just entertaining ourselves. Maybe it's because we're big kids at heart too, but we spend a lot of time finding that balance, making sure that the jokes or the humor isn't too offensive but that it's a little dangerous and fun and just rides that edge, I think is exciting to us.
Goes
Yeah.
right over their heads.
Yeah, yeah, like they just might not pay attention. And the
Yeah.
movies are so dense. There's so much flying at you all the time intentionally. We like that kind of roller coaster ride of an experience. And I think if it goes over the kids' heads, then the parents will catch it. And if it's something the kids like and the parents don't get, like it's a constant barrage, I think, of material like that.
Yeah, and we are constantly trying to make ourselves and each other laugh here too when we're pitching ideas to each other and cutting things together in editorial to screen it. Like we just want people to walk out feeling like joyful and like that the overall, yeah, there's going to be conflict and emotion, but overall we're hoping people leave feeling like they had a joyful experience that
Yeah.
kind of sticks with them. So.
So, music is such a huge part in all of the Trolls films. How do you kind of decide like where to place the song so it fits within the narrative?
Yeah, it's a big process. It takes quite a long time. And like Tim, I've talked about a little bit, we try different songs. We'll try it in there in a very rough form before we animate it and let it play and see how it feels in the context of the movie. Is it moving the story forward? Is it tonally telling us how we want to feel at that moment? So it's a lot of trial and error, I think, till we
Yeah,
find the exact right song.
and usually just kind of by sort of placing our story beats down, it kind of tells you where the songs need to be in a way. And there's times where we'll think a song belongs here and we'll try it and we'll realize, oh, it feels like we're spending too much time and we're not moving the story forward, even though the songs usually do move the story forward. But for the most part, you kind of just get a feeling like, oh, it feels like we've gone too long without a song and now we need to lighten things up or to push the emotional journey of the characters or whatever. I think a lot of times just the more we sort of get this story structure in place, the more you understand where the songs need to exist.
Yeah, and mapping out with Justin where the originals go. Like sometimes
Mm.
we can't find the exact right song to articulate what the story's doing or the emotions. And we work with Justin quite closely. Oh, it'd be great to have an original here. Or this one's really complex. Let's put one here. Or he has ideas where one goes. So it's a lot. It's one of my favorite parts of the process, that's for sure.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So the cast is absolutely amazing. When I first saw the list of your cast role, I was mind blown. I mean, you had so many big actors, and they're so funny. Are they ever encouraged to do any improv, or are they set to the specific script?
A lot. We do, we're a super collaborative team, Tim and I, and our producer, Gina. It's like we really encourage every department to have a point of view and get their voice in here, and especially with our actors. Like Tim and I will go in the room with them and improv. We'll play the other characters and we'll improvise with them. I mean, tons of the jokes that Branch has come from Justin. We write a lot too, but it was fun having Andrew Reynolds in there and Amy Schumer. Like we really improvised a lot with them too.
Yeah,
Everyone brings a lot of themselves to the movie.
everyone got, I think, into the improvisation of it. We do show up with script pages that they'll read from, but we always say, anything you want to try, let's just try it. It can never be bad to have too much material and to go off, on tangents and whatever. And I think there's people who you would just assume would improv, Eric Andre, and he provided hours and hours and hours of material that I wish we could just put all in this movie. But even people like Troye Sivan and Kid Cudi, and everybody was just like, they showed up, they wanted to play, they were excited to be a part of this story, and they brought their A game and then some. It was so much fun. Camila was incredible as well to work with as Viva. Like, she was just so tuned into this character and gave us so many fun ideas. So yeah,
everybody we pitched to wanted to do the movie. Like I think we got a lot of goodwill from Trolls World Tour and the way everybody watched it. Like we had a lot more people to watch it given that situation it was released. So it was all goodwill. If we got a chance to talk to them and pitch in the movie, they were in.
The Trolls World Tour did so great, like being not a non-theatrical release.
Yeah.
That was insane. So the title of the movie, it's Trolls Band Together, and I kind of felt that sort of tied into the overall theme of the movie. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the title came from Gina, right, Tim?
I think so. Really early on too. It's been called that since at least I remember starting to work on it with you guys.
Yeah, we usually try a bunch of things, but that it has, like Trolls World Tour, that it has double meaning. It's band together because we get the band back together, literally, but band together, like you said, we really talk about working together. And I think this movie was made in the beginning of the pandemic. It is about how do we work together? The power of empathy and the power of togetherness in your family, in your community. I think that's why the title works so well on both levels.
Right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you guys, but thank you so much. The movie was great.
Cool. Thanks, Kami. Nice talking to you.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you.